Hi, welcome to this presentation on VerifEye data collection guidelines. In this presentation, we discuss best practices to ensure that good video and audio data are recorded for a VerifEye test. This is affected by three main things. 1. The testing room and setting. 2. The phone or device and the correct position to monitor the examinee's eyes. And 3. Test taker behaviors and cooperation while testing. First, let's discuss the proper room setup for VerifEye testing. The room used for the test should be isolated from distractions and sound with the door closed. There should be moderate lighting overhead, and you should eliminate other light sources that could shine in the examinee's eyes, such as windows, mirrors, TVs, or computer screens. If these other light sources are not eliminated, glare or reflections can hamper the video recording of the examinee's eyes. These two examples show reflections in the examinee's eyes. This makes it difficult for the pupils to be monitored. Now the flash on the phone will create glare in the examinee's eyes, but that is part of the testing process. If the room is not isolated from outside noise, not only would the test taker be distracted, but the microphone could pick up and record such noises as responses to the test questions, which can negatively impact test results. Now let's talk about phone requirements and positioning for testing. First, the phone should be a reasonable quality. The camera resolution should be between 720 and 1080 pixels, but 4K is recommended. The battery cannot be charged below 20% for a test. A strong Wi-Fi signal is needed. The phone's available memory or storage should not be less than 6 gigabytes. The volume of the phone speakers needs to be higher than medium, and all other apps should be closed before the test. The flash will be enabled for the entire test, which takes about 10 minutes. During testing, the phone must be turned upside down so that the front screen is facing away from the test taker and the phone's back cameras are at the bottom. The phone should be tilted so that the camera with its flash is angled up towards the test taker's eyes. This camera, now at the bottom, should be about level with the test taker's mouth. The distance depends on the quality of camera, and the app itself will provide verbal instructions to position the phone when the test starts. These images show test takers holding phones in the correct position, the phone camera level with their mouths looking at the middle part of the back of the phone. The digital voice indicates to the test taker if the phone is out of position. In the current position, the digital voice will advance the test. Now we'll speak about how the test taker should behave during the test to ensure best conditions. First, the test taker should remove anything that would make it difficult for the phone camera to monitor their eyes. This includes wearing a hat, which shadows the eyes, glasses, which are not needed, the test does not require reading, heavy makeup or long fake eyelashes, COVID masks, or hair dangling in front of the eyes. The test taker's eyes should be visible during the test. The examinee must remain relatively still and keep their eyes open. The examinee should avoid expressions such as yawning or smiling, which makes the eyes squint. Normal blinking is okay. Excessive blinking, especially when responding to test questions, can negatively impact test results. The examinee should be engaged and alert. A 10-minute test is not excessive, but if the test taker has relaxed their head position, which often includes inclining the head back, that position makes our eyes appear more closed and more difficult to monitor. The examinee should remain upright with their chin down and face forward. The test taker should look at the back of the phone, focusing about 2 inches above the camera, which should be positioned at the bottom of the phone. If the examiner looks elsewhere, glare from the flash will not be in the best place for data collection. If looking in the correct spot, the glare will appear in the person's eyes at the middle bottom of their pupil. This is the best placement for the glare to represent the least amount of interference for data collection. For example, if the person looks too far above the camera, the flash will drop too low below the pupil. If the person looks directly at the flashing camera, the glare will be positioned in the center of the pupil, which causes excessive glare. If the person looks 2 inches above the camera, but the phone is held too low, the glare is in the right spot, but there is too much shadow on the eye. And if the person looks to the side, the glare moves to either side of the pupil depending on where they look. This is not ideal either. Test takers must respond properly to ensure good audio recording data. For VerifEye, the digital voice on the phone reads all the questions aloud to the test taker. The person needs to wait until the voice has finished reading the entire question before responding. The person should respond verbally, loud and clear, true or false. If the voice response was recorded, the phone emits a tone or click and proceeds to the next question. If there is no tone or click, the test taker should repeat the answer or the time allotted will expire. The digital voice will prompt the test taker to speak up. Once the time limit expires, the person cannot return to the question. Instead, the non-response is recorded. If there are too many questions with the time limit expired, the test taker may fail the test. The test takers must listen carefully and respond loudly and quickly to all questions. All test takers should speak clearly. Other background sounds, if sufficiently loud, such as sneezing, coughing, yawning, tongue clicking, or sighing, may be recorded. These noises can negatively impact test results. The test taker should answer as many questions as possible with expected responses. An expected response occurs when the test taker denies participating in the target behavior. For example, a question about illegal drugs might ask, "As to using illegal drugs in the past 2 years, I have not." The expected response is true. That signifies the person denied using illegal drugs in the past 2 years. However, if the response is false, that is an admission of guilt, which is an unexpected response in lie detection testing. If a person mistakenly responds unexpectedly, it's okay. Questions are presented quickly and worded uniquely, so it is common to make some mistakes. However, if too many unexpected answers occur, the test cannot be scored because the negatively impacts the test data. VerifEye is a lie detector. If a guilty person admits guilt, the brain and body likely will not react as expected. During the test instructions, the examiner will be asked to say true or false 3 times. This is a voice learning process. The app records those responses to create a baseline response. If the examinee's responses during the test do not match the baseline sound, it can be considered unrecognizable. Too many unrecognized answers may negatively impact the test results. Let's end with a few best practices. If issues occur during testing, there are some troubleshooting steps to follow to ensure high test quality and accuracy. The first best practice is the phone quality good? Is the phone newer than 3 years? Is the camera resolution greater than 720 pixels? Second, were all apps closed down during the test? Closing an app is not the same as suspending the app. Closing the app requires swiping the app off the screen. Third, if it was not the first test during the day, was the VerifEye app closed down between tests? This means it should be closed by swiping it off the screen and then reopened to begin the new test. Fourth, were the lighting conditions of the room optimal? Was there a lot of glare or light reflection on the pupil? Fifth, was the phone in the correct position for the test? That means it was flipped upside down and backwards so that the high-res camera is positioned at the bottom and facing the test taker level with their mouth. Distance from the test taker is decided by the camera quality and phone version. 6, was the phone slightly tilted? Too much or too little tilt can obstruct the eyes or cast shadows. Finally, did the test taker look at the correct spot on the back of the phone about 2 inches above the camera? If so, the photos on the test report will show the position of the flash glare at the middle bottom of the pupil. If glare is anywhere else, the test taker was probably looking somewhere else, and the test data quality was negatively impacted. That concludes this discussion on data collection guidelines for VerifEye. If you have any questions, please send an email to training@converus.com. Thank you.